Oasis Audio presents C.S. Lewis in America by Mark A. Noll. Read for you by Charles Constant. To Maggie Noll and the Memory of Chris Mitchell. Preface. G. Walter Hansen. A dramatic occurrence struck the United States with surprising force during World War II and in the years immediately before and after. Audiences who witnessed that unfolding episode were stunned. That unexpected event was the striking effect of books by a Belfast professor of medieval literature at Oxford University. In this book, American historian Mark Noll documents the astounding impact of books by C.S. Lewis when they first appeared in the United States in the turbulent years of 1935 through 1947. His study yields two results. One, portraits of the audiences that responded to C.S. Lewis, and two, challenges to emulate C.S. Lewis in our own turbulent times. His portraits of audiences responding to Lewis pose intriguing historical contrasts. In the Roman Catholic response, Chapter 1, consider how the pre-Vatican II Church's unanimous, enthusiastic appreciation for the defense of objective, universal moral values articulated by Lewis differs from the division between Catholic liberals and conservatives in our day. In the wake of the 1960s sexual revolution and Pope John XXIII's call to aggiornamento, or updating, of the Church with the Second Vatican Council, 1962 to 1965, conflicting, diverse Catholic perspectives generated tension and even animosity in the Catholic Church. While official, magisterial teaching on the traditional creeds has not wavered, the splintering of the Church can be seen today as inflammatory rhetoric over many moral issues causes rifts in Catholic parishes and families. You can hear the loss of the moral consensus in our day as Catholics disagree with Catholics regarding abortion rights and same-sex marriage. Just listen to the spectrum of positions held by U.S. bishops, some of whom assert that a pro-abortion rights politician such as President Joseph Biden, a Roman Catholic, should not present himself for communion. The response of mainstream media, Chapter 2, from the first review in the New York Times, December 1935, to the appearance of Lewis on the cover of Time, September 1947, reveals the state of American culture 75 years ago. The popularity of Lewis in that era points to, in Noll's words, a late Christian culture, in contrast to the post-Christian culture of our day. The decrease of Americans who identify as Christian and the increase of the nones, Americans who deny association with any faith tradition, provide evidence that the beliefs of Christianity are rejected or at least forgotten by an increasing number in our society. Of course, nuns sing Christian hymns at funerals and weddings and advance arguments based on Christian ideas about human rights, but the Christian theology for those hymns and arguments is mostly forgotten. The appreciation of Lewis's works by both mainline Protestants and eventually evangelicals, Chapter 3, shows us a common center in the American Protestant world in the 1940s, in contrast to the polarization between progressives and right-wing evangelicals in our day. In his preface to Mere Christianity, Lewis says, "It is at the Church's center, where her truest children dwell, that each communion is really closest to every other in spirit, if not in doctrine." The appeal to dwell in the Church's center seems to fall on deaf ears and hard hearts in our day. These significant contrasts between the time of the early reception of Lewis and our time might make you wonder about the relevance of C.S. Lewis for our day. What is the enduring value in the work of Lewis? Noll answers this question in his conclusion by pointing to qualities in Lewis's writing for us to emulate in our thought, life, and work. The following three phrases based on Lewis's work encapsulate Noll's challenges for us today. Learning in wartime. I am struck by the absence of direct, explicit commentary on breaking news by Lewis. Yet he was writing during wartime. How did he keep from being terrorized by the horror of war? We find out by reading his evensong message, Learning in Wartime, October 22, 1939, delivered to students and faculty at Oxford University. The first enemy, he says, is excitement, the tendency to think and feel about the war when we had intended to think about our work. He calls his university colleagues back to their intellectual work, the work of the mind.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?